So today I'm reviewing the Surface Pro 8. This is one of Microsoft's best laptops. And look, I love this thing. But before I get into it, I gotta give a quick shout out to Best Buy for sponsoring this portion of the video because they have some awesome deals happening in October. For example, if you're looking at the Surface Pro 8, you still might want to consider the Surface Pro 7 because it's on sale right now anywhere from $150 to $400 at Best Buy. Yes, the design is a bit outdated, but the performance in a lot of ways is very similar to the Surface Pro 8. Now, if you want something a bit more beefed out, there's the Lenovo Yoga 9i. This has a 4K display. It used to retail for $1,750. Right now you can get it for $1,360. That's $400 off. There is an SSD, a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD on sale. Used to retail for about $240. Right now you can pick it up for 95 bucks. Now before I get right into this review, we have to talk about price because the Surface Pro 8 is a very expensive two-in-one. I know it's the best one out there from this sort of design standpoint, but when you buy just the tablet alone, you're spending like $1,600, at least for the SKU that I have here. Then when you add on the $280 type cover, which thankfully it comes with the pen, you're looking at a device that retails for just under 1,900 bucks. To put this in context for you, the same storage size of the iPad Pro 12.9 inch, which has the M1 processor and is a lot faster than the Intel processor inside of here, even with the Magic Keyboard and the Apple Pencil, it's still about $180 cheaper than this. On top of that, if you're even trying to save a lot more money and still want something premium, there's the HP Spectre X360. I know technically it's convertible, but it does the exact same thing as this. That retails for $1,200 bucks, and it comes with a 4K display, and it includes the pen in the box. I think they gotta drop the price a bit, or at least for $1,600 bucks, include the type cover, and maybe make the pencil or pen an extra cost. Now, quite frankly, no one's buying this without the type cover. Like, no one just buys the tablet portion. Like, you're getting it with this. So I'm gonna review it as the total package. And the big deal this year is the overall design change. This looks exactly like the Surface Pro X. Now, the port lineup is still very familiar. On the left-hand side, you have that audio jack, and then you have that very clicky and tactile volume rocker. You have a vent over here to allow heat to dissipate from the laptop. And then when you flip it to the right-hand side, you have your power button, 2 USB Type-C ports. These are Thunderbolt 4. First time on a Surface Pro laptop. Not only can you connect multiple displays, you can even connect an external GPU if you really wanted to. And then on the bottom, you have that Surface Connect port, which charges your laptop, but also allows you to hook it up to special types of docks. There's a USB port on this device, but it happens to be on the charging brick. It's a full-size one, but you can't connect whatever you connect to this to access your laptop. This essentially just acts as a charging mechanism. Now, the type cover keyboard has been improved compared to the predecessor. Like, when I'm typing on these keys, it feels nice and tactile. There's less flex in the middle, considering that this is a piece of material connecting to the Surface Pro 8. Don't get me wrong, this is not the best experience for laptop typing, but it is manageable. The only thing I don't like about the type cover is the touchpad size. Like, this thing is super small. Don't get me wrong, it's very accurate. Like, when I move my finger around, the mouse moves perfectly. It feels nice and smooth and it clicks great. It's just your fingers are gonna start to feel cramped due to the touchpad size. The other cool thing is how they improved the display to work with the type cover. On the previous Surface Pro, when you had this up like this, it would cover the bottom bar. They made sure that the clearance was there so that you can see it perfectly now. If you pull it towards you, you get access to the new Slim Pen 2. And this thing is absolutely awesome. As soon as you take it out in Windows 11, you get a little menu. For example, if I open up the whiteboard, it does it instantly, and I can start drawing right away. Now, the beauty about this pen is they added a little vibrating effect when you draw. A lot of people commented on it, or a lot of reviewers rather, saying they couldn't feel it. I think it makes a big difference. Like, it actually feels more realistic to writing than the previous experience I had on the other pen. Like, it's not huge, but it's there. Like, you feel that scratchy effect when you're drawing with a pencil, and that slight vibration compensates for it. Plus, the top of this is very mushy. So when you press the tip into the display, it feels a lot more like you're writing on paper. I will say the 120 Hertz display makes this pen feel significantly smoother when you write on it. Speaking of 120 Hertz, you can put it down to 60. In fact, 60 Hertz is the default setting when you power this on for the first time, because Microsoft is making sure you save as much battery life as possible. Make sure you go into the display settings, go to advanced, and change it to 120 Hertz, because it's just gonna make the laptop feel significantly faster when you're using it. Unfortunately, there's no promotion like Apple uses or a dynamic refresh rate, which would have been awesome because you could save battery on the fly instead of going back and forth and manually switching it yourself. Now, since we're on the topic of the display, I absolutely adore it. Like, this thing is gorgeous. Not only is it an improvement from brightness and color accuracy compared to the previous one, you just get more screen real estate. They improved it by increasing it to 13 inches, and it looks great, you know? There's a new and improved 1080p webcam on the top of the Surface Pro 8, and it looks absolutely awesome. One of the better webcams I've seen on a Windows laptop to date. As for sound, there's 2 speakers at the top of the display. They are very clear, they're very crisp, but they don't just get as loud and vibrant as something on the MacBook Pro. So the model I have here is the i7 version. It comes with about 256 gigabytes of storage, and of course it's using an integrated graphics chip, but I feel like with these types of laptops, a lot of people should just stick with the i5 because the performance difference you're gonna get with that i7 is probably not gonna be seen in most applications you use. Look, this is not the fastest U-series processor out there. AMD has 8 cores. It's gonna do things like compile code a lot quicker. This is for the individual that just wants something to work in Microsoft Office, have tons of Chrome tabs open, maybe work in Photoshop, draw, sketch, and have fantastic battery life. Now, fan noise is fantastic on this thing. Like, if you leave it on the recommended settings where it automatically adjusts depending on what you do, the fans rarely kick on. Like, it's super duper quiet. If you want to push this thing to its full potential, the fans will top out at about 41 to 42 decibels, which is still a very quiet experience. Now, it doesn't get super hot. Like, temps literally sit around 65 degrees Celsius, and this is when the thing is completely under full load. So you'll never experience overheating or any thermal throttling on this machine. But I think the most remarkable thing about this laptop has to be the battery life. Like, insane. Even with Windows 11 installed, I got around 12 hours of battery life before needing to charge, which is superb. Now, you can't upgrade much on this. You do have a little slot on the bottom, which allows you to open up if you put a little pin inside of it, and you can swap out the NVMe SSD for something bigger. Just note that this NVMe SSD is not as fast as the standard ones you'd find in most other laptops. This is expensive, okay? And obviously there's better performing things out there, but I still think this is one of the best designs for a 2-in-1 period. A lot of other companies have started switching over to traditional convertibles. This is still one of the only 2-in-1s with a detachable keyboard that's currently on the market with this type of premium experience. I just think you have to know what you're getting yourself into. You know you're gonna be paying a premium for it because it's from Microsoft. You know you're not gonna get the best performance if you're trying to push this thing, but you're gonna get a good experience. Like, if you're someone who's literally working in Microsoft Office, you're taking this to class to write notes, the writing experience is exceptional, the battery life is great, and the performance for that type of stuff is really good. If you have any more questions about this, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.